Her fingers tightened around the strap of her purse as she stared down at the 3 crumpled bills in her hand. $3. That was all. She swallowed hard, her chest rising with a shaky breath, and pulled Margaret's folded note from her pocket. Just show up. The words burned into her, leaving no room to hide. Her eyes lifted, and she froze when she saw them through the glass. A man with steady shoulders, stirring his cup with absent focus, and a little girl beside him, humming softly as she held up her scribbles for his approval. His smile, her laugh, it pierced straight through Olivia's chest, sharp enough to make her doubt she belonged anywhere near them. She turned slightly, ready to walk away, ready to vanish before she embarrassed herself, but Margaret's voice surged back with stubborn clarity, "Don't let your love dry up." Olivia shut her eyes for just a beat, then opened them, lifted her chin, and pushed the door open. Her voice trembled before she could steady it. I'm Olivia. Margaret asked me to meet someone here." His eyes flickered with recognition, his brow lifting in surprise. "Margaret? You know my mother." Her lips parted, unsure if she had already said too much, but before she could answer, the barista's voice broke in gently. "What can I get for you, miss?" Her throat tightened. She lowered her gaze. "I can't afford coffee today. I'm sorry." A silence hung, heavy, until he leaned forward, his voice quiet but kind. "Then I'll get 2. It's just coffee." Heat rushed to her cheeks, but she nodded and slowly took the seat. From beside him, a little girl peeked over the edge of the table, eyes bright, holding up a napkin scribbled with colors. "Hi. I'm Judy." Olivia's lips curved, almost despite herself. "Hi, Judy. That's beautiful." The child pushed the drawing closer. "It's a unicorn. Her name is Sparkle." Something inside Olivia eased as she met those innocent eyes, and in that fragile moment, a bond quietly began to form. Isaac watched Olivia carefully, the way Judy leaned toward her without hesitation, the way Olivia's smile softened even when she tried to hide it. It struck him harder than he expected. 2 years ago, everything had broken. His startup collapsed, investors vanished, and with them went his sense of worth. Then came the day he walked into silence, an empty apartment, a crib untouched, and a note that explained nothing. She was gone. No fight, no goodbye, just absence. Judy was still in diapers, and from then on survival was all he knew. Every attempt at dating, every nudge from friends or his mother, ended the same. Cold. Empty. He stopped trying. Judy was enough, her stories, her hugs, her sleepy mornings. She filled the hollow, or at least he told himself she did. But here, watching a stranger straighten Judy's crayon with such easy tenderness, he felt something stir, something he had buried so deep he thought it was gone. The question rose before he could stop it: what if this was the start of something, not just unexpected, but real? But the past never stays buried. What Isaac didn't know yet was that the ghosts he tried to forget were already circling back. Isaac walked Judy down the hallway toward Margaret's room, her small hand swinging in his. Judy spotted a narrow bench and scrambled up before he could stop her. "Watch me jump," she cried, already wobbling at the edge. His warning came too late. Her foot slipped, and a sharp squeal cut the air, then Olivia was there. She moved without thought, arms out, catching Judy mid-fall. The little girl collapsed against her chest, startled, trembling, tears rushing out. Olivia held her firmly, rocking gently, voice low and sure. "It's okay, sweetheart. I've got you. You're okay." She brushed curls from Judy's damp cheeks, dabbing them with a tissue she seemed to pull from nowhere, her hand steady, her tone soft. Isaac's chest tightened, the weight of his own failure pressing hard. He hadn't caught her, but Olivia had. And as he watched his daughter bury her face into a stranger's shoulder with unshaken trust, something shifted. Fear clawed at him, but so did longing. For just one moment, in that fragile scene, they looked like a family. A picture he hadn't expected and didn't dare believe could ever be his. When Judy finally calmed and skipped ahead down the hall, Isaac lingered. Olivia was adjusting a patient's blanket, her movements calm, practiced, gentle. When she turned back, he stepped closer, voice low. "Would you have lunch with me sometime as a thank you?" Her eyes widened, a soft shake of her head already forming. "You don't have to thank me for that." "I know," he said, his tone steady but quiet. "But I want to. And it's not just about the fall." She searched his face, hesitating. He managed a faint smile. "It's just lunch. I promise." For a moment, neither spoke, the weight of what lingered between them unspoken. Then she gave the smallest nod. "Okay." It wasn't much. But something fragile, something undeniable, took root in that single word. Judy slid into the booth without hesitation, pressing herself against Olivia's side as if the seat had always been hers. Olivia let her stay, her hand resting gently over the child's as if it were the most natural thing. Conversation moved slowly, but it carried weight. Olivia's voice dropped as she admitted, "I send most of my paycheck back home. My mom's in a long-term clinic. I haven't seen her in 2 years. I cover the medicine, the rent, the food. Some months, there's nothing left." Isaac's eyes never left hers. "You do all that alone?" She nodded. "There's no one else." He leaned back, his gaze steady, unwavering. "That's not weakness. That's strength." Her lips curved faintly, almost unwillingly. "Thanks. I don't always feel strong." Judy dunked her fries into her soup, grinning, oblivious to the heaviness around her. For a brief moment, it felt whole, like something neither of them dared to name. Then the bell over the door jingled. Isaac stiffened. Olivia followed his gaze to a woman walking toward them, sharp, flawless, a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Before either of them could react, she bent and scooped Judy into her arms. Judy kicked and screamed, voice breaking. "No. Put me down. I don't want you. I want Olivia." The air froze, every beat of the past slamming into the present. The mother who abandoned them had returned, and she wasn't leaving quietly. Isaac rose from his seat, his voice cold, sharp. "You don't get to do this. You walked out. You didn't come to the hearing. You never asked to see her. Not once." Her smile cracked, the sweetness gone in an instant. "I made mistakes, but I've changed. I deserve to be in her life." His jaw tightened. "You didn't just leave me. You left her." Judy's sobs cut through the standoff, her little arms wrapped desperately around Olivia's neck. "I want Olivia." Her voice was broken, pleading, but fierce in a way that silenced the room. The woman's eyes flicked between them, anger flashing. "You're going to let her grow up without her mother? Really? That's what you want?" Isaac's voice dropped, steady as stone. "She already did." Her gaze darted to Olivia, holding Judy protectively. "This is what it's about. You let some nurse take my place." "She didn't take anything," Isaac shot back. "She gave something. Something you never did." The woman's face hardened. "I'll be back. You can't keep her from me forever." Isaac sat alone in the dim light, the manila folder spread open on his desk. Custody papers, stamped and signed. Sole custody granted to him. No visitation. No appeal. No fight. She had walked away even from this. The truth pressed into him like a blade, she hadn't just left, she had surrendered without care. Judy had never been enough for her. The next day, he caught Olivia as she signed out of her shift. Without hesitation, he laid the folded papers on the counter between them. His voice was raw, almost breaking. "She didn't even fight. She never wanted her. But you stayed." Olivia's lips parted, emotion tightening her features, but before she could answer, Margaret's voice carried from her wheelchair nearby. "Sweetheart, blood can make a child, but love makes a mother." The words hung heavy, undeniable. But love alone won't stop what's coming. His ex had a reason far darker for returning. The truth surfaced like poison. Margaret's life insurance, a sum large enough to secure Judy's future, had been left entirely in the child's name. And somehow, his ex had found out. At the law office, she sat across the table, polished, rehearsed, a smile painted carefully on her lips. Isaac didn't sit. His voice cut through the room. "You lost custody because you didn't care. You lost visitation because you didn't even ask. And now you want to buy your way back with a smile." Her shoulders stiffened, but before she could answer, the door creaked. Small footsteps hesitated at the threshold. Judy stood there, her little hand clutching Olivia's skirt, her eyes wide. She stepped closer, pressing herself into Olivia's side. Her voice was quiet but firm. "I don't want you. I want Olivia." Olivia froze, her breath caught, every thought colliding in her chest. Judy had chosen, openly, without doubt, and the weight of it nearly crushed her. Isaac stepped forward, his presence a shield, his words steady. "She's not confused. She knows what love feels like, and she knows what it doesn't." The silence that followed was heavier than any verdict. Isaac almost missed it. A crooked sheet of paper taped to the fridge, bright with crayon lines. 3 stick figures stood hand in hand, one tall with short dark hair, one small with pigtails, and one with long blonde hair smiling wide. Above them, in uneven purple letters, the words were clear, "My family." He stood there for a long time, no words, no movement, just the thud of his heart against the truth Judy had already spoken. Later, he found Olivia as her shift ended. Without speaking, he unfolded the drawing and held it out. She pressed her hand to her lips, her eyes filling as she whispered, "She sees us, as her people." Isaac reached into his pocket, his fingers closing around the velvet box that had weighed on him for days. He dropped to one knee, his voice steady but soft. "Judy chose you. I do too. Will you stay for both of us?" Tears spilled down Olivia's cheeks as she pressed her trembling hand to her chest. "I will," she whispered. Isaac slid the ring onto her finger, his breath unsteady, his eyes locked on hers. For a moment, nothing else existed but the quiet promise between them. But in the distance, unseen until then, she watched. Isaac's ex, her arms crossed, her lips twisted with fury, her eyes burning with something that was not regret but vengeance. Judy came running, curls bouncing, her small voice full of hope. "Daddy, did you ask her?" Isaac lifted her into his arms, his voice breaking with emotion. "I did." Judy turned to Olivia, eyes shining. "Did you say yes?" Olivia brushed away her tears, her voice tender. "I did." Judy squealed, wrapping her arms around both of them. "Now we're really a forever family." But behind them, the woman's shadow lingered, her silence more dangerous than words. They had chosen each other, but some battles don't end with love alone. And the woman who walked away once, may not walk away again.